just had a thought yesterday of how most of us stay in this normal to normalcy range, most of us in our comfort zones. And my whole thought was that we often fail to visit our limitations or our expectations. And so, because our limitations remind us of our failures and our unaccomplished life, our expectations require us to have hope. And when we're in the middle of that despondency, and sometimes it's just easier to stay in the middle. We'll call it the rut, and it's easier just to stay in that rut and do life rather than do living. And so I think that we are not. I think that many of us are, when we're called to literally thrive, most of us are just in survive. And I know those terms are very normal. But I think, and I got to think about why do we stay in these safe places? We find our slot and space among our own comfort and around those like us, right in the middle structure of our life and natural behavior, to stay away from both ends of the spectrum. That I will call high expectations on one end, the high expectations of God on one end, and myself, and then my evident limitations. So let's talk about high expectations and my own limited limitations. And again, I think that we fail to visit our limitations because we've been stuck for so long. We feel like this is existence. This is the way we're going to be, rather than using our faith, rather than saying, okay, God, I'm going to reshape this, rather than, God, I'm going to shift this mindset. I'm going to shift everything about what's going on inside of me. And I'm going to shift this through some ways I'm going to talk to you about. So let's call the high expectations the joy of walking and knowing God. The first high expectation is the joy of knowing and walking with God. That would be I would say that's a high expectation from God. He wants you to know Him. He wants you to enjoy Him. He wants you to know that He enjoys you. He wants you to know that He loves you. He wants you to know that you're fully loved and that you are fully heard, and that your own behavior and your limitations. Think about every one of my sons have certain limitations. It doesn't affect my love toward them. It doesn't even touch my love for them. It may touch my concern for how I could help them, but it doesn't touch my love for them. I love them regardless of their limitations, and I have my own. Sometimes they're even behavioral. But the high expectations I would call the joy of walking and knowing God, the adventure of walking with God through faith, and even the adventure of walking with God through the dealing with my disappointments of fear, my lack, and dealing with my own disappointments. In other words, the adventure of walking with God, even through the disappointing places, is a plus for me. I have the advantage. The advantage is mine because I have the Holy Spirit. So rather than laying in those disappointments and staying in those disappointments, I have the ability to shift my mindset by faith, praying prayers of faith, praying audacious prayers. And the more that I pray, the more I hear, and the more I hear, the more I build my faith. But when we get in that normal spot, our life, our prayer life, our reading life, our spiritual life, our church life is all in the same level. It's like a level 5. And we may have a surge to a 6 and a back surge to a 4, but as a whole, our life stays between 4, 5, and 6. And only we can change that. See, God doesn't change the facts. God, that by the Holy Spirit, leads us to truth.